playing games with God? How many times have you heard God loves you? How many times have you heard Jesus loves you? Here we are in New Orleans, 1998, serving God. The day I am concerned what people say about me is the day I hang my megaphone up. Heaven or hell when you die. Believe in Jesus Christ. Stop playing games with God. You've been playing games with God way too long. I don't know why you don't take the best deal in town. Jesus Christ dying for you, when you walk away like nothing.
Hey guys, how are you? Sorry, a little late. I had a little bit of a technical difficulty trying to get everything set up right. But in the future, I'm going to be, probably going back to the green screen and whatnot. But for now, just because there's a lot of issues coming with this this software, so probably going to go back to using the old software and whatnot there. And go from there. But anyway, hope you guys are blessed. You notice we didn't do a video last night on the Words for Christ channel because, doing a video Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it's a bit much. Especially since, we're counseling people on marriage, with all the other work we're doing, exposing pedophiles. And that's what tonight's video is going to be about, by the way. Because we are working with a national organization now that's coming in after all the stuff on Bartlesville has been exposed, because at this point it's bigger than what I can do, if that makes sense. Because it's not just a local organization, it's not a local child trafficking ring anymore. Now it's international. And we're still trying to wrap our heads around all of the complexities of it, who's involved, and it's all the same players. So, but what fell into our laps, and again, this goes to, if you guys haven't yet, you really need to go to the website, V1 Suit, which is verily I say unto thee, but it's .substack.com. She is a phenomenal journalist, and she has actually agreed to be part of the official Street Preachers team, so to speak, in that, she's a journalist, but we trust her integrity more than most, because she's willing to break things. When we have something to share with her, she's not afraid to get in front of it. She's not afraid to dive in and dig deeper and whatnot. So if you guys haven't yet, I would definitely suggest subscribing to her. I don't know if you want to call it a blog or Substack, whatever they call that. Because again, what I'm going to tell you tonight, again, this all comes out of street preachers that showed up at a pride event to preach. Okay. And for me, it's getting, more and more difficult to want to engage with other Christians. And as I go through this more and more, and as we're uncovering this layer by layer, piece by piece, we're finding that churches are still apathetic about this. You know, when that restraining order thing came out and it hit the news, every single conservative news publication talked about it. And I've got messages from all these Christians all over the country saying, "Hey, you know, I want to come join you. Let me know when their Pride event is. You know, I'm going to come out there," because even Liberty Counsel put the call out there and said that what they're trying to do by criminalizing Scripture, by trying to make the Bible hate speech, should send shivers down the spines of every Christian. Because this could chill free speech in Christian America. You know, if I was anybody else and not anointed by God to take this fight, some people would just walk away from this and let it be. But no, we can't allow that to happen. But, you know, again, I had so many people with so many messages telling me, "Hey, brother, I want to come out there. I want to stand against this." And I said, well, you know, we'll see. Obviously right now with all the media hype that's happening, you know, let's give it 2 weeks when the news cycle kind of changes into whatever the current flavor of the day is. And we'll see if you have the same fire. Because again, Christians don't. The enemy does. The enemy remember things for 6 months and they'll show up. But Christians, we don't have that. And this is where it's becoming more increasingly frustrating for me. Because Christians just don't want to fight. And I'm not talking about physically fighting. I'm talking about spiritually fighting. We don't want to engage, and the enemy knows this. When it's a hot news topic, we are outraged. We are incensed. We'll go on Facebook and YouTube, and you'll see all the big podcasters. And sorry, I dropped a bullet. Let's see, you know, they'll all talk about these issues, you know, but after about 2-3 weeks, you don't hear about it anymore. See, the enemy knows how we are. The enemy knows that we're not really good for much other than, you know, keeping our fight on social media, which is funny because that's where they want. That's where the enemy wants us to keep the fight because he controls the narrative on social media platforms. And, you know, most people think that they've done their duty by talking about the issue on Facebook and think that that's all that's required. Well, I can tell you this after working with lawmakers across this country. The one thing that they repeatedly say to me is the enemy shows up. And they show up in mass. They show up in numbers. Now, don't get me wrong. Christians will show up when it comes to a worship service. Christians will show up by the thousands, the tens of thousands, when it comes to not actually doing anything. They'll show up when there's no danger. They'll show up just to sing songs, and that's it. But when it comes to actually, you know, engaging in things and doing anything meaningful, we're just not there. Oh, hold on. I don't know what happened there. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Sorry about that. Hold on. I don't know what happened. Let me get a little... All right, hold on. I had to put something on here. I don't know what happened. Okay, bear with me as I try to, let's see, fix this here. Sorry. And Just give me 1 second here, guys, while I try to make sense of this whole thing here. Trying to figure this out. Just give me, because what happens, I'm using an iPhone or an iPad, and the whole thing just went dead. So let me just try. Let's put up the picture of tonight's video so you guys can at least see what we're dealing with here tonight. So this is, and I want this picture to be burned into your brains as you see this person, because before my camera cut out, I was talking about how is this not live anymore? Nope. Okay, there it is. This is, and I want this picture. How Christians don't have any longevity. They don't have any intestinal fortitude anymore, if you will. But this, you see this picture here. And let me take off the scrolling on the bottom so you can see the whole thing here. And let me take off this logo here, okay? Because I want you to see this. This is what we are dealing with here, okay? This is what we are dealing with in America today. This is a principal, okay, in an elementary school. And this is what happens when Christians don't stand up. This is what happens when Christians just lie down. This is the result of a society and a culture where God has been removed and asked to step aside. This is what happens when the church forgets who it is. This is what happens when a church is no longer operating under the influence of the Holy Ghost, but instead it's operating under the influence of a homo ghost. You see, because the problem here is that all Christians just typically want a virtue signal. Christians care more about, how they are perceived by the world than they are by God. So they will act and they will do things in accordance with the way the world defines love and the way the world defines hate. They would never say or do anything that would ever hurt the feelings of some disgusting, vile reprobate. They would never tell them that they're on their way to hell, because after all, the current thing is that, well, you're pushing them away from Jesus. Brielle, can you see if that camera, that phone's back on? Just tap the screen. Or is it still showing the battery? And you have this. You look at America just 50 to 100 years ago, and this kind of thing would never have happened. You would never have such a disgusting, vile, excuse me. You would never have this in the American education system. People like this would be told not to come around children. But again, when we care more about how the world perceives us than how God sees us, when we want to appear loving to a world that hates God, because after all, we think that, somehow we think that we can actually save people. We think that we have the power in and of ourselves to rescue people from their sins, and we don't. We forget that our function is to preach. Nothing more, nothing less. It is not our job to convict sinners of sin. It is not our job to save people. And I think somehow along the way, at least in the American church, we've forgotten that. We've forgotten what our function is, and we've forgotten what our role is when it comes to our faith. So much so that, again, we are acting like we are the savior of some people, and we're not. Because I have to ask the question, let's just talk truthfully here for a second. Well, let's always talk truthfully, but I mean, for this video, I want to just say, what happened? How is this even allowed in this country? It amazes me that we are okay with this. It amazes me that we will ignore this. When I went to the Capitol in Oklahoma City, we were treated like royalty. We couldn't believe it. And we said, why? What's going on here that we get treated this way? Like, we're nothing special. We're just Christians. And they said because, well, Christians don't usually show up. So when we showed up, they were completely like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Because they're not used to seeing Christians actually do anything. And they were just enamored the fact that we were there. They could not believe it. And I was surprised by that because, again, the enemy showed up in large numbers. I mean, they showed up and we don't. And yet we wonder why our culture and our society are so bad. Well, this is why. So I'm going to tell you about this particular reprobate here. I want you to understand what's invading our culture, and I want you to understand our responsibility and our lack of any real fight to do anything. Because like I said, we have a Pride event coming up in Oklahoma here September 9th. This is an event that every Christian wanted to come to. Every conservative wanted to come to. But for some reason now it's kind of, we have about 10 people that are going to be here. And yet the other side will have 100 to 200 people easily celebrating sin while we just go on with our lives pretending like this isn't happening. See, Christians in the early church, in the first, second, third, fourth, and so on, everything about them was about God. Their entire lives revolved around God. Everything. Today, God is like, well, I'll go to God when I need something. When something bad is going on in my life, well, then you know what? Then I'll go to God. But God should be first. In everything that we say and do, God should be first in our lives. But we've given God a back seat, and that's why we see the culture. See, as Christians have slipped into moral decay, as we've slipped into apathy and ignore what's going on in the world around us, the world is suffering as a result of it because we're just not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We don't really care to do what we're supposed to be doing. As long as we appear loving, after all, the church today doesn't want people to hate them. And that really, at the end of the day, is the crux of the issue. The church is not prepared to be hated for Jesus yet. And until it is, we're never going to be effective. And we're going to have things like this in our schools in America. But I want to play a clip from Ruben real quick while I go check this camera out.
And when you say about free speech, do you mean like being able to say words like faggot and stuff like
yes.
that?
Yes. Well, no, not just that. Just what the Bible says. The Bible doesn't say faggot.
Yeah. How come you say faggot?
Oh, I'll say faggot because that's what they understand.
Oh.
It's kind of like going to a rap concert. I don't mind saying the word nigger. That's what they say in their rap concert, so why can't I say it? I'm going to identify with them. Why not call it what it is?
Okay, well, it's still not working. So anyway, I want to go through this story here. And we're going to show here, and I want to read this to you. So, Oklahoma School District hires drag queen as principal with previous child porn arrest. What you see here is Dr. Brent Mernon. This is the newest elementary school principal within Oklahoma's Western Heights Public School District. Mernon, a 52-year-old man whose drag persona is very publicly known as Miss Chantel Mandalay, now has total authority over more than 400 students from pre-K through 4th grade at John Glenn Elementary School in southwest Oklahoma City. Mernon, depicted below here, with Western Heights PS Superintendent Braden Savage, is thrilled to have a new district and new respect. Now, I want you to read what he wrote here in his Facebook post. He said, I worked for a school district for 8 years and saw my superintendent once in my building for a photo op. This year is different. New district and new respect. This lady here calls me, comes by to check on me, texts me, and even shows up to help with car duty and no photo ops while they take a photo op. The best superintendent ever. And her cabinet shows up too and visits and texts and comes to support. My staff rocks. This is the best ever. I worked for a school district for 8 years. What's interesting about this is this. Teacher Myrnin was previously arrested for possessing child pornography. In August of 2001, Myrnin, then a 30-year-old 5th grade teacher at Will Rogers Elementary School in Stillwater, Oklahoma, was arrested for possessing both child pornography and drugs. 2 weeks before his arrest, his electronic devices were confiscated by police. Despite the teacher's efforts to delete the images, the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation was able to recover at least 4 images of children engaged in sex acts. This is a homosexual man, by the way. Let's not forget that part. From there, some unexplainable, and again, what I'm about to share with you here, this is what's taking place that you don't even know about. So when you look at my story about how, you know, the LGBT groups were going to get a judge to give them a restraining order against really nothing, then it turned out the judge or their friend goes to the next friend of theirs after a police officer who's a friend of theirs. This is all interconnected. You look at the other story too about another teacher who had his record expunged for a sex crime so that he could become a foster parent to children. So when I tell you the upper echelon are involved in this, you guys, I'm not even joking. This is how deep this stuff goes. But anyway, from there, some unexplained legal wrangling began in which Payne County Special Judge Philip Corley ruled that prosecutors had not proven Myrnin had possessed child pornography, claiming it could not be definitively proven that children in the photos were underage. Payne County prosecutors appealed Corley's decision and temporarily prevailed. Payne County Appeals Court Judge Dave Allen in his ruling stated, and I quote, "It is clear from a review of the pictures that they do in fact represent child pornography." Okay? Next, Payne County District Judge Donald L. Worthington reversed the reversal, dismissing the child pornography charge. Payne County prosecutors gave up, choosing not to appeal. In the end, it appears there was never any disagreement about the existence of the pornographic photos on Myrnin's computer, yet the charge was somehow dropped. Was this a behind-the-scenes plea agreement to allow Myrnin to accept only the drug charge and retain his teaching certificate? After all, we don't want to be homophobic bigots and not have a homosexual man in our schools. We can't have that. I mean, after all, we have megachurch pastor of the Rock Church out there who was meeting up with underage girls for sex too, and his charges just magically went away as well. After all, if you should tell a gay man who's possessing child porn that he can't teach, well, you're just a homophobic bigot. You see, all the LGBT has to do is threaten violence, threaten a lawsuit, and we just comply. The courts, the police, the judge, everybody. Because nobody wants to be a homophobe or a bigot. Their propaganda has worked, and it's because we as a church have let it work. We have failed. We are derelict in our duty as Christians. We are not doing what we're supposed to be doing. Okay? And this is the result. This is what you have in our schools. Okay? After a short probation period, Myrnin's record was expunged in October of 2003. He used 2004, 5, and 6 to launch his Chantel Mandalay persona into the world of cross-dressing pageants, such as Miss Gay Oklahoma, before heading right back to the classroom. This is the principle as Chantel Mandalay, publicly available on his Facebook page. I want you to think about this for a second. Look at this image. Just look at this for a second. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, this is a principal of an elementary school. Okay, and I know you guys can't really see me, so I apologize for that. But again, there's not a whole lot I can do about it when my camera isn't working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find a picture and maybe just stick it in the corner there, so you guys can at least pretend like I'm here, like you can see me. But it's just, it is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable that this is allowed to happen. Okay. So there I am in the corner there. We can pretend like I'm there, okay? So, despite the child porn charge, Murnin continued teaching in underprivileged schools. It's always underprivileged schools, right? Here's his 8 years. From 2007 to 2015, Murnin was a classroom teacher at Little Axe Elementary School, a site of approximately 550 students within a small rural district in central Oklahoma, serving primarily economically disadvantaged children. From there, Murrin moved to the much larger, approximately 32,000, more urban, increasingly progressive, and failing Oklahoma City Public Schools district as teacher, trainer / instructional coach, and eventually assistant principal at Prairie Queen Elementary School. Okay? Prairie Queen is an underperforming school that serves a population that is 82.3% Hispanic and 96.5% economically disadvantaged. Most parents speak limited English, and 69% of students are English language learners. These are vulnerable kids. In late 2020, during Murnin's time at Prairie Queen ES, the state entered a new criminal probable cause initial filing with Murnin as the defendant. It is unknown at this time what crime is or was being investigated, but the case was assigned to Judge Kevin McCrae. So here we have a child pornographer who probably, because he's gay, of course, and threatened and said, I'm gay, it's just amazing. Now he's under investigation again in 2020, just a couple years ago. And now Murnin is the man in charge of John Glenn Elementary School in the Western Heights District, which is the southwest part of the Oklahoma City metro area. The district of approximately 2,750 students has been in turmoil since 2021, when the state temporarily took over due to years of financial mismanagement and non-compliance. To simplify, the district gets a lot of funds, spends significantly more than the state average, and continues to fail children. Murnin's John Glenn Elementary School student population is also majority Hispanic, English language learners, and overwhelmingly economically disadvantaged. Murnin founded and operates organization to promote Drag Queen Story Hour. What a shock! What a shock. In 2018, Murnin and two others formed and founded Oklahoma City Drag Queen Story Hour, Inc., to promote events throughout the state. By the time the lockdown started, the organization was teamed with the Oklahoma City Metropolitan Library System, and Murnin, in drag, was reading age-targeted indoctrination to small children online through the library's Facebook events. With quotes like, "You just look one way on the outside and feel another way on the inside, and that's okay." And themes like the worried child who has two dads with a Mother's Day party approaching at school. Residents should absolutely unequivocally question whether tax dollars should still be going to their public libraries. After all, public libraries are now nothing more than liberal indoctrination centers. Beyond Oklahoma City Drag Queen Story Hour Inc., other business registrations associated with Myrnin include Mandalay Holdings LLC, BSBM Enterprises LLC, and trademark filing for something called Brief Invasion. Myrnin regularly and publicly links his role as educator with Chantal Mandalay. Within both social media and related to his adult performances outside of school, Myrnin makes regular connection between his drag persona, Mandalay, and role as a public school educator. Around Easter, he publicly posted the following on his drag queen's Facebook page about his previous bad choices, child porn, being an educator and playing Dr. Bunny Manda Egg for the children at Prairie Queen Elementary School. I don't know if you guys can see it in your screens there, but he wrote, "Life is about experiences and choices. I've made a lot of bad decisions in my lifetime and learned from them. I've also made some amazing decisions. One of those was becoming an educator, having the opportunity to work with kids and encouraging them to do and be their best is so rewarding. Sometimes just making them feel loved," there's that word again, "or just putting a smile on their face is all they need. I'm constantly asked, how do you do it? I could never. This is why. A rabbit suit, smiles, hugs, laughter, and making someone's life a little better for a moment. Happy Easter from Dr. Bunny Mandalay." And by the way, this picture you see here of him with the children, this was on his drag queen page, not his personal page. This was on his drag queen page. Now, Myrnin's alter ego, right, this drag queen here, reposted a promotional bio for the Pride Charity Gala 2023, which described him as follows. "Chantel is a force to be reckoned with. By day, she's an assistant principal, he, molding young minds, but by night, she's the life of the party." If you read the bottom there, it says, "Meet Chantal Mandalay, the Oklahoma-born powerhouse, ready to take the stage at Pride Charity Gala 2023. With a heart full of passion and a sparkling personality, Chantal is a force to be reckoned with." This is unbelievable that this is what's in our schools. How many parents at Prairie Queen Elementary School were aware that Myrna was posting pictures of their children and their children's activities at school to his drag queen's publicly available social media platforms? Apparently, the Oklahoma City School District didn't think that it was a big deal. Here we have Chantal Mandalay once again posting on his Facebook page, "Today we celebrate the end of testing with the kids. Needless to say, I got to play too. Such a fun day of smiles and laughter. I love my job and my kids." So you have to remember, you guys, when they hear the words, "I love," this is what it's all about. My kids. They're not your kids. They're his kids. They need to put as much indoctrinated garbage in front of them at all times. This is the public school in Oklahoma, not San Francisco, not Boston, Massachusetts, or New York City. This is in Oklahoma. And this is because Christians just don't care. How is this possible? How is it we care so little? How can we claim to be children of God and followers of Jesus Christ, and we allow this to continue every single day in our country? We are allowing these deviants access to our children. Why? I don't know. Why are Christians so afraid to appear unloving to people that don't even know what love is? To them, love is turning children into sex objects. How is this okay? I mean, when is enough of this? Look at this image. You guys will like this one. We appreciate that some. Check this out for a second. Let me see if I can get this camera to work. Yep, okay, hold on, guys. I got the camera here. And I'll get it back up here in just a second. Share this device, share this camera. All right, give me a second here, guys. I got the camera back up, and you guys are going to see me here in a second. Let me just get this here. Boom, there it is. All right. Okay, hold on one second there, guys. Let me just, I got my camera back up. All right. I got my camera back. So, okay. There we go. So I can get rid of this picture in the corner here. Doop. Let's get rid of that. Now, I can put myself in the bottom here. And hold on. Hold on here. There we go. Okay. Let's go back to this picture here. Why is this doing this? Okay. Hold on. I don't know why. I think I messed up here. I did. I don't know what I did. Oh. Because okay, hold on. Amongst the state's gay population and the Oklahoma Gazette have been highlighting Chantel P. Mandalay, the drag queen, and identifying Shane the educator, our principal, as the man behind the makeup. It seems many were aware of this dual personality within the public education. But were parents ever informed about this? I don't know about you, but if I had some drag freak who was arrested for child porn and beat it on a technicality in my school, I'd be pretty upset. Judging by Mernon's gay nightclub, his act mocking Christianity at his other employer, The Boom, it's possible that being completely transparent with the parents of his mostly Hispanic students or respecting their cultural beliefs are not the principal's top priority. Here is Sunday Gospel Revival at The Boom. There you go. Mernon also hosts a regular event called Say My Name at the same venue. Okay, this is disgusting. Western Heights School Board reportedly was aware of Chantel Mandalay before hiring Shane Mernon as their principal. A source has informed us that the Western Heights School Board was informed of at least Mernon's after-hours persona as drag queen Chantel Mandalay prior to approving his hire as a principal. It is unknown if the board discussed either Mernon's 2001 arrest for possession of child porn or the more current 2020 criminal probable cause filing against him in Oklahoma County District Court prior to vote vague. In the style of activist school boards across the country and out of step with Western Heights' more typical process, the Western Heights School Board chose to enter executive session away from the public eye. Isn't this amazing how this always takes place behind closed doors? Away from to discuss Mernon's batch of new hires. Meeting minutes from that portion of the June 12, 2023 board meeting show board members Brian Flatley, Darren Duncan, Jerome Johnson, and Teresa Lewis spent 40 minutes in executive session immediately returning to publicly vote to approve Mernon's hire. The notes about their private discussion state only the employment of personnel listed in Exhibit A as the topic discussed. The board had to have known this hire would be concerning and controversial among parents, but chose not to engage any parents prior to approving Mernon as principal. Now, they've reached out via email to board member Jerome Johnson, appointed by Governor Kevin Stitt in December of 2022 to fill the district seat's 5 vacancy. Johnson was asked what the board discussed during executive session prior to a unanimous vote, one absent, to hire Mernon and 3 other principals. Now, it's been reported previously about a Project Veritas type video that exposed Tulsa Public Schools hiring of a school hopping, name changing, and infamous teacher and radicalizer who had just been released from a neighboring school district, Owasso Public School, for telling kids online, among other things, if your parents don't love and accept you for who you are this Christmas, F them. I'm your parents now. I'm proud of you. Drink some water. I love you. Bye. These hires are not slipping through the cracks. It appears they are being purposefully protected and provided access to children in schools. Since Oklahoma's HB 1775 became law in April 2021, prohibiting the teaching of the major tenets of critical race theory and gender ideology, it appears some districts are using strategic hiring as a path around that legislation. If they can't teach radical ideologies, they'll make kids experience them in the persona of school staff every single day. And where is now Principal Mernon recruiting new staff for John Galt Elementary School? Through a drag queen. You ready for this? This is where he's looking for hires, guys. He's looking to hire people through his drag queen social media. What special qualifications will those following Mandalay's activities bring to school? Are you bilingual? Want to make a difference in the lives of children? Must have GED or diploma. Inbox me if interested. This is a drag queen recruiting teachers on their drag queen page. What the hell? And we're letting this happen. We're still letting this happen. I brought this story yesterday. Libs of TikTok shared it today. The Blaze shared it today. This guy is still working for the school. Where are the Christians? Where is the outrage from the parents to have some sick pervert giving this guy who's been arrested for child pornography access to their kids? What the hell? Seriously? And again, I'm making this video tonight, and most of you tomorrow will probably be like, well, won't even remember this. Because this is what it's like for Christians and conservatives. We're outraged online, but that's pretty much where we keep our outrage. God forbid we show up at the school and start denouncing this. God forbid we show up at the school board meeting and start blasting the school board for hiring this child pornographer, this sick freak. God forbid we actually do that. I mean, this is absolutely, unequivocally disgusting. Disgusting. And you think this is limited to Oklahoma? No. This is national. This is going on all over the country. And there's only a handful of us that are really exposing this. And yet, all the video that's out there, all of this information, and it's still happening. These people are going out there, and I want you to think about this, and they're literally saying, we're not grooming kids. We're not sexualizing your children. And we just go, oh, well, okay. And we're like, we just let it go. I don't understand this. I truly don't understand this. How did we get here? Are we really that lazy as Christians? I mean, are we really so apathetic that we don't even care that this is happening?
A sick freak.
We're not done yet. Western Heights Public School has been unstable for quite some time. Battles over underperformance and financial mismanagement of the district came to a head beginning in late 2021. and through 2022, as the Oklahoma State Department of Education eventually sought to take control of the district following years of noncompliance. The district pushed back against the interventions and the state's appointment of an interim superintendent, even destroying documents as the courts became involved and the likelihood of a state takeover increased. What did they destroy? Again, this is outrageous. And yet we're just talking about it. In June of 2022, then Western Heights School Board member Linda Farley was observed drinking beer during a virtual board meeting. She's drinking a Corona during a school board meeting. Seriously, what the hell is going on here? This is amazing. I mean, have we lost our minds? She later apologized, explained she had a kidney infection. I should not have drunk a beer during the meeting in order to flush out my kidneys. This is unbelievable. I mean, this is unbelievable. It appears Western Heights Public School, though under new leadership, has added a brewing culture war with parents as its newest problem to fix. Mernon voluntarily stepped down from his Stillwater teaching position after the images of children engaging in sex acts were found on his computer. In a sane world, Mernon would have immediately moved to a profession not involving children. His story, our efforts reflect his intention to push his personal agenda on children, far outside of academics. Anyone who has worked in or attended a public school understands that the principal sets the culture for the entire building. It does not appear that the parents of John Glenn Elementary School were allowed to provide any input about Mernon's hire or the culture of their kid's school. Ask yourself this question, folks. Is this what anyone's grade school principal looked or acted like just 10 years ago? And if not, why is this acceptable now? And what's even funnier is, because I posted this publicly, I put this out there, we put this out there twice, I actually got threatened by somebody who, again, remember, they claim they don't have, people going after children in their circles, but here's what this guy said. Called, and I let them know they are targeted by a domestic terrorist. You. That's right. We as Christians who dare to exercise our First Amendment rights and dare to expose pedophiles or domestic terrorists. And that doxing is illegal. Well, these idiots don't know what doxing is. Keep doing it, though. Your car will not be the last thing vandalized on your property. It's your choice. So in other words, is if I keep speaking about this, if I keep exposing the pedophiles, and yet somehow that seems to be okay, I'm the bad guy. Because how dare I talk about a guy who has a drag queen story hour, who was arrested, who he did in fact have child pornographic images on his computer. He had them. He had child pornography. Okay? And yet this guy has access to our children? Do you need to see this again? You guys want this from your kids? How about this? No. This okay? This okay? Maybe you want this, maybe you want this. How about this? Oh, you know what? Maybe you continue to hire board members who drink during school board meetings and say, I have to flush out my kidneys. This is insane. And yet, again, where are the Christians? How are we not? I mean, again, do you know that the transgender folks, they took over Oklahoma State Capitol. They call it January 6th up there. And he said, across the state we hear that Christians don't want this, but they don't call, they don't email, and they don't show up. I mean, what is it, if this stuff doesn't get you to action, what is it going to take? I mean, honestly, what is it going to take to get you to do something? I know we're far too busy with our lives. We all virtue signal on social media, talk about how much we care about children, we want to protect children, we want to protect the innocent children, but when it comes time to actually do it, we're far too busy to do so. Well, fine. Maybe you are too busy. But there are other people I know for a fact that would love to come here, that maybe they don't have the money. If you're that busy and you're making that much money, maybe you can sponsor or help a brother or a sister come to stand against this. I'm just saying. We can't sit there and say that we're righteous. We can't sit there and claim that we're holy and we follow Jesus when we allow this. I mean, look, I just showed this to you now. What's today? Wednesday? By Friday, how many of you are going to remember this video? How many of you are going to remember that there is a drag queen principal arrested for child pornography in the public school system in Oklahoma here? Again, this is one of these things that should outrage every single one of us. This should be one of these things where we all get together and say, oh, no. But I don't see that happening. I do see some people calling and emailing, praise God for that. And if you want to know the information where to call and email, go to the community section. If you want to know the information where to call and email, go to the community section of the Warriors for Christ YouTube channel or the official Street Preachers channel, this channel you're watching right here. Go on there. Okay, it's you go on YouTube, type in @official Street Preachers or @Warriors for Christ Ministries, and you will find all the email addresses from all the board members, the phone number for the school, the phone number for the school district. It's all there. I put all the contact information out there. It's on my Facebook page. If you watch us on Facebook, it's in my Facebook page on a post I made today and yesterday. All the email addresses, the phone numbers are all there. This principal should be fired immediately. See that CJ wants to come to Bartlesville. Who's gonna donate so we can buy Sheila a plane ticket to come to Bartlesville to preach with us? Now Sheila does support a ministry. She does what she can. Sorry, Sheila, I know you don't care about you don't really want. But anyway, she does what she can to support Warriors for Christ, official Street Preachers. She wants to come. So if you're too busy, maybe you can help send her here. We bought Grant a plane ticket to come to Austin with us because her brother stepped up and said, hey, I want to help. So Sheila wants to come. I'll buy her a plane ticket tonight. Sheila, find out how much it would cost. Let me know, and I'll put it out there to pay for a plane ticket for you to come. See, I can't go to the Bartlesville Pride event because of that stupid restraining order thing. The bigger picture is the appeal because that's going to set precedent. But my wife will be there. Kaylee will be there. Ed will be there. Kat will be there. Hopefully Sheila will be there. Dave and Tracy will be there. Jim Gillis will be there. Ryan will be there. We even have a councilman there. There's only one councilman that has any balls on that city council in Bartlesville. There's only one man that's willing to stand up to any of this garbage. And for that, the loving LGBT doxed him, put stuff all over his car. This is a city councilman. They are literally terrorizing him. Now, they call you a terrorist as a Christian for daring to exercise your First Amendment rights and calling this out. Meanwhile, they threaten you with violence if you don't comply and do what they want. Who's the real terrorist here? And you're absolutely right, Joseph. Reuben would not allow this. Reuben would be out front on this. Reuben would be calling people together and saying, let's get in front of this. Let's get out there. Let's go out there and rebuke these wicked devils. There is no way that, and again, we're trying. We're standing in front of it, but we cannot allow this to continue. We have to stand against this. We have no choice in this. And I'm so glad Lives at TikTok shared it. The only problem is they didn't give credit to where credit is due on it. The Blaze shared it and everybody else. But where are you guys in this? This is not a time for apathy or reaction. This is a time to be proactive. The handful of us that are out there doing this cannot do it alone anymore. We can't do it. I know. You think we're unloving, but here's the thing. I don't care what you think. I only care what God thinks. And when your lovey-doveyness is allowing this into our schools, you know what? I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear how you think we're doing it wrong when you do nothing but allow this garbage in our schools. When you have these people literally recruiting teachers on their drag queen social media platforms.
A sick freak.
Doesn't say any better than that. Sick freak. But this is what's normal in America today. You want to know why God needs to eternally separate these people? Because when you give them an inch, look what they do. They destroy everything they touch. They think they're normal. Now, again, what I find amazing about all this is that they don't like being linked to pedophiles. They don't like being called groomers. They don't like it. But yet, every single one of them will defend this principle to a T, because they are nothing but liars. They are of their father, the devil. They lie because they can't just come and say, yes, we want to groom your children. They can't say that because everybody go, whoa. So they need to do it and then say, we're not doing it while they're doing it. But you see, these people, they target economically disadvantaged areas. They target minority children. They target special needs children who can't fight back or speak for themselves. We have an entire generation of children who think it's okay to cut your Johnson off. Cut 16-year-old girls cutting off their breasts as if that's a good thing, a normal thing. And they walk on these huge scars like it's honorable to do that. And all I can say is, what the hell? Have you completely lost your mind? The trailer park is empty today, folks, because they're in your schools. This is a principal in a public elementary school. A man arrested for child pornography. And I keep saying it over and over again because how can we just... Let's see. More comes on. The state appears by attorney that has completed probation. The court changed defendant's plea to not guilty. Orders this matter dismissed. And the record expunged. At state cost. Huh. Here it is right here. The porn case decision reversed. A Payne County Appeals Court judge Friday reversed an earlier ruling that not enough evidence existed to try a Stillwater elementary school teacher on child pornography charges. Shane Brent Mernon, 30, will stand trial on charges that he possessed pornographic images of children under the age of 18 on his computer. He is a 5th grade teacher at Stillwater's Will Rogers Elementary School. Associate Judge Dave Allen said the pictures served as enough evidence to try Mernon, who had earlier won a decision that the pictures, which were deleted and recovered by law enforcement officials, were not enough evidence to try. However, it is clear from review of the pictures that they do represent child pornography, Allen said in his ruling. This is a judge. Attorney Frank Morris, representing Mernon, said the defense argued the prosecutors failed to prove the age of those in the pictures. These were not small children. The government must prove the person depicted on it. So they're not saying they're not children. They're just saying they're not small children. That was their defense. Mernon said that so the lawyer said that the teacher acquired the pictures by how do you access? Oh my gosh. He said They got the child porn pictures by accident. How does one accidentally receive child porn? Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4, and more than that, they can only recover 4. Have you ever accidentally gotten child porn? I know I haven't, ever. The guy admits it. He practically admits it. He had it and said, oh, I got it by accident. How the hell do you get child porn by accident? I'm disgusted over this. And what's worse, I'm disgusted by the lack of the church's response to any of this. The child pornographer sitting as a principal in schools and a drag queen who still wants access to children, let alone children who predominantly don't speak English, who probably don't know how to fight back. God only knows what this guy's doing to these kids now. What I just share with you is this, compared with the child trafficking, compared with the violence for exposing it. You know, the woman that writes told me, she says, Rich, maybe it's time for you to walk away from the churches. Maybe it's time to just focus on the patriot groups. Because the churches clearly aren't doing anything about it, and they're not going to. If this isn't enough to wake people up to action, then I don't know what is. I mean, I was the first person in America. I am the first person, and this is per my lawyer, he said this on CBN publicly, to be threatened with jail time for posting Bible verses on social media. The first person, let me repeat that. I am the first person in America to be threatened with jail time for posting Bible verses on social media. This case is such a big deal that the Chief Justice of the Oklahoma State Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the state, made a motion to keep my case for disposition in the Supreme Court. Because this is going to be a published decision that's going to affect everybody. And yet, where are the churches and the Christians? There should be more Christians that are out here preaching and standing against this garbage than any other event that I can think of, because of the fact is that if this decision stands, as my lawyer, the civil rights attorney, free speech attorney said, that is the end of Christianity in America. When the words of Jesus are called hate speech, that is the end for us in America. You would think that this would be something every Christian goes out of their way to stand against these people. But they're not. Most people are just kind of, whatever. I got other things to do. So you may not like me. You may not like some of the things that I do or say, and that's okay, I understand. But the fact is that we're literally out here exposing child traffickers, child pornographers. And my family is taking a beating for this. Because I exposed a pedophile, now I'm being threatened again, to the point where I literally have to walk around my house with my gun, with my pistol on me at all times, because if anybody tries anything, so I can defend my family if necessary. I have to, well, I'm going to leave it at that. I have to make sure my wife, when I'm down in Austin because of the threats, make sure my wife had her pistol by her and accessible for just in case. And, you know, yeah, you can share anything with me. That's fine. Well, of course, you're a racist if you stand against. If you're a racist for some reason for standing against child groomers. I mean, Antifa's such a joke. These people are just wicked. But again, because again, now think about it. We're down in Austin, right? These kids are calling themselves sluts. They're calling themselves all these things here. I mean, I have never seen so many I would say, almost naked people. I mean, when they're literal butt cheeks. You're not talking about just on the. You're talking about actual butt cheeks. We're hanging out of their shorts, and yet we're perceived as the bad guy for telling these women to dress modestly. And look, I'm not a big, oh, don't wear pants type person. I'm not that, I don't have a problem when wearing pants. I mean, I think some people go a little too far with it, but clearly we can all agree that when you walk around your butt cheeks hanging out, definitely immodest. Can we all agree on that? Exactly. Why would anybody be mad at me for exposing pedos? Well, it's because we don't just expose them. For instance, we've been on top of the oneness guys for a while now, exposing the oneness doctrine for the heresy and the absolute lunacy that is, and the oneness people are getting upset about it. And there's some people that get upset about it because they think that oneness people are our brother and sister when they're not. These people are heretics on their way to hell. They are antichrist. And I'm going to do a video on that on my other channel soon to show how oneness are antichrist. They 150% are antichrists. And yet we for the sake of unity, brother, well, you know what? The homos want to unify with you. They want you to go in. They don't want you to talk about it. So are you going to do that? Are you going to give them what they want to? Probably not. For me, enough is enough. And if I had to do it alone, then so be it. I don't want to. I would love everybody to join us. I would love everybody to come out there. We've been trying like crazy to get people to understand what's going on here and to get Christians to wake up out of their apathy and their slumber and just be like, hey man, enough is enough. It is time for you to wake up. I mean, because look, nobody else can do it. Nobody else can do this. Nobody else has the ability to deal with this. The church, empowered by the Holy Spirit, is the only entity on earth that can deal with this stuff. So I'm appealing to you tonight, Christian. Please do something. We have to get out of this mindset that everything is more important than God and holiness. Because if we keep that attitude, this is why we're losing. And yes, we are losing. Don't pretend like we're winning, because we're not. We're not winning. We're not winning because we are allowing this to continue. We're allowing it to happen. And until we have enough, and again, I don't even know, honestly. I mean, look at all the videos I've been showing you guys the last couple weeks. Dead children, babies that have been, remember this? Remember the little baby boy that was murdered by lesbians because they're so DHS were so desperate to put children in gay homes that they put this little baby Xander Cage in a false room with lesbians who were out on bail for breaking another child's arm. They put the baby in there, and then 3 months later they killed this baby, tortured this baby to death. Remember that? No, look at this baby's face. There's still no justice for this baby. How many of you actually did something about this or called or tried to do something about this? Remember that video? This little baby was butchered, savagely beaten by lesbians at 3 months old. Beaten because they begin are child traffickers, lesbian, bisexual, sex freaks who want your children. And again, when the baby died, when the baby was murdered, do you think those who put the baby in that home cared? Not at all. They didn't lose 1 ounce of sleep. Why? Because these babies are not children to them. They are objects. They are nothing more than a means to, and they are props to push their agenda. That is it. This baby was... You see, the babies that Planned Parenthood can't kill in the womb, they want to kill them after they come out by mutilating them and killing them as people. Because that's their business. Because they are nothing more than...
freak!
So the woman who murdered this baby is in jail for life. The other woman, nothing happened. And there's no justice for this baby. There's none whatsoever. Absolutely zero justice for this baby. Because can't touch CPS. They have qualified immunity. So There's no justice for baby Xander. So in the last couple weeks, we've shown you guys a child trafficking ring at Bartlesville. We showed you an international child trafficking ring. We showed you how the children are being butchered and murdered. Now we're showing you pedophiles in the classroom. What more is it going to take for you to wake up? And if you can't come out here and preach with us and stand against this, well then, for God's sake, you better do something. Use your resource to send somebody else out here who will. Sheila said she will come out here. Grant will come out here. I know of at least 3 or 4 people that will come out here and stand against this. And by the way, if you don't think that it's a big deal to come out here and stand against those lesbians who sat there and tried to make the words of Jesus hate speech, then you have no business fighting anything, because you know what? You're part of the problem. That's the truth. So as we go through this, there are people that are willing to come. They don't have a lot of money. There are people that, through, they're retired or sick, or, look, there are preachers and people out there that have lost everything because of it, and that's fine. And we're supposed to lose everything. But that's where the church should step up. And unfortunately, we don't. Ministries like ours, David Grisham, Fisher Street, we should be the most funded ministry in this country. What other ministry, and I'm not trying to brag on myself here, but what other ministries do you know that are literally taking down trafficking rings, national, international, and now exposing pedophiles in the school systems? I don't know anybody else doing the work that we're doing. And I'm not saying that what everybody else is doing wrong, so please don't take it that way. But what we're doing is costing us everything. There are people that want to help us that don't have the means to help us. If you have the means, please, in Jesus' name, help them come stand with us, because we need an army. So I'm appealing to you, Christian, tonight. Support official street preachers. All of us. We need help in case one of us gets arrested for bail money. Ruben had a bail fund. We'll have somebody appointed that will keep guard of that money so that when somebody gets arrested, they can use it to bail a brother or sister out of jail when they get arrested. We need a bail fund. We need funds to help others travel. And we need help as a ministry team too, because what we're dealing with, like I said, I have to walk around armed now. That was the advice of a sheriff. They have extra patrols. They're going to have extra patrols around my house and everything else. But to make sure that we are well armed. That's how sick this. All we're doing is exposing pedophiles. And they hate us for it. They hate us for it. You would think that such a group of people that hate being called that stuff would be all for us exposing it, but no. They hate us for it. They hate us for it. Why? Because that's who they are. They don't want you to know what's going on, because when you know, people tend to call and email and say, whoa. They don't want that. They want access to those kids. But if you're going to stand there and do nothing, then don't complain about it. You have no right. Don't tell me how virtuous you are on social media when you literally don't stand against anything. Oh, I'm for Jesus. Are you? Are you really? I just laid out a whole thing for you here. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. I'll pray. And I'm not denigrating prayer. I'm just saying, if that's all you're doing, you're not really doing much. Faith without works is dead. Remember that. So as you leave you tonight is Wednesday night. I'll be in Words for Christ tomorrow night with a teaching there. So make sure you guys, again, please make sure you subscribe to all of our channels here. This channel here, which is youtube.com/@officialstreetpreachers and youtube.com/@Words for Christ Ministries. We also have our Rumble channel, which is rumble.com/c/Official Street Preachers, or if you go to Rumble, actually, let me see how that works. If you go to Rumble, just type in Official Street Preachers. Does that come up? Let's see. So I'm on Rumble, the Rumble app. So let's go in the search and type in official street preachers. If you type it, okay. So if you go to Rumble and type in official street preachers, that comes up. Okay, that's the Rumble channel right there, official street preachers. Make sure you follow us on there because they don't censor us on that channel. Okay, make sure you follow us there. If you aren't friends with me on Facebook, friend me on Facebook. I post a lot on Facebook, a lot of images, videos, things like that. So if you want to friend me on Facebook, it's facebook.com/@thefirebrandpreacher. Or Rich Penkoski. I have two of them, Rich Penkoski and Penkoski Rich. Penkoski Rich is when I don't really use it that much. Rich Penkoski is my Facebook. So make sure you send me a friend request there and help support the ministry. The links are in the description of the video, and they're scrolling at the bottom here. If you want to help support us, I will get Sheila a plane ticket tonight to come out here for the 8th. If you guys will help support that, again, it's our website is wfcchurch.org/give. Our Zelle, if you have Zelle, is pastor@wfcchurch.org. And our Venmo is @official street preachers. Do something. For goodness sake, do something. Make sure you subscribe to our channels. Make sure you share the videos, especially videos like this, to get this information out there because it will prompt others to action. Unless you don't like the video, hey, by all means, you don't have to, but Rumble is not letting me follow you. So something when I try to... Really? Interesting. But make sure you share the video so others become informed of what's taking place, because some people say, I don't know, or what to do. Well, that's what we're here for, to help equip. Now, again, we are looking at a conference of some sorts. Don't know, again, remember, we are preliminarily talking about this. We don't know when, where, how. We're just trying to talk about it. But I want you to know this too. So again, you guys know about the whole thing with John Williams and that, and Shirts That Speak. And I got to say, just to let you guys know, I posted on Facebook this, the screenshot under the comment section there. But John Williams has completely lost his mind. Not only is he a liar, but this is a guy who sent me a text message saying that God is going to kill me and that he will rejoice when he does. First of all, that's stupid. And secondly, rejoicing in the death. It's one thing to say somebody deserves a death penalty. It's another to say you're going to rejoice in someone's death. But that's what John Williams said. He said, I have the text message. Other people, I forwarded the text message to others, and they went, wow. But how many street preachers seem to be okay with that? After all, we want unity, right? At all costs, no matter what the cost, no matter the compromise, we want unity. Disgusting. And Shirts That Speak, by the way, that dude, I don't care, he can see, you're not so nice comments, is a lying scumbag. Right in Florida, looked me dead in my face and said, I never said anything about you. Yeah, go take a look at the Austin banners and tell me why you don't see official street preachers on those banners. Because he didn't want to do it because of Rich this. Because apparently Eduardo, Pitar, and all these guys are lying but him. And I was told, even when you look at Eduardo Lift Up Thy Voices blog, that even that wasn't everything they said. So if you want to go to SOPA, have fun. Because it's nothing more than oneness guys now. It's nothing more than Jacob Blankenship, who is the biggest novice. I've never even seen a guy so biblically illiterate. Everything is about himself. Well, it doesn't matter. But I will not and cannot endorse SOPA ever again. Not with John Williams at the helm, who has literally taken from day one from Ruben's thing and lied about Ruben, lied about me, lied about David Grisham, lied about Eduardo, is lying about everybody, who is making people swear loyalty oaths to him. He's a disgusting, filthy reprobate, a deceiver. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing who the Bible says has crept in unaware. Fortunately, not many people want to follow him. Matter of fact, Shirts That Speak guy told me himself that nobody wants to follow him anymore. That everything is ruined. I said, well, it's kind of your fault. You did it. Oh, John has something against you. I literally did nothing. Other than not giving him this YouTube channel, which if Ruben wanted him to have it, he wouldn't have taken him off a year ago. He lied and said I took him off. That's a lie. We posted screenshots, everything else. That's why he doesn't say that anymore. So, anyway, if you were thinking about going to SOPA, I will not be there. Dave will not be there. Greg Coleman will not be there. Kat will not be there. A lot of people will not be going anymore because of John Williams. So, I hope all 5 of you have a great time. But anyway, if you want to help support the ministry, we are going to be moving from Works for Christ to Official Street Preachers. I don't know what to do with the website yet. I'm really praying about maybe just handing it over to those young kids out there in Wisconsin, letting them run with it. Obviously not the YouTube channel because that's just, but letting them have the reins at it while we work on Official Street Preachers, because now that Official Street Preachers out there, it was covered in the news in Austin. That's where we think that we need to focus on. At least for me right now, I need to focus on that because, it's not about me. It's not about David. It's not about anyone in particular. It's about street preachers and street preaching and the ministry that God has called us to and others to as well. So we don't want to make it about one individual. We want to make it about all of us as a team, as a group, as Christians, as fellow laborers in the Lord. So we're going to be slowly making changes there. But again, I have to wait because it is thousands of dollars to fix up the website. It's a lot to put on one person. So I have to do that slowly when I can. It's not a priority right now, so that's why I'm not asking for anything for it, but the priority is helping the ministry with bail funds, with ministry needs, and helping others travel. So use the links down below in the description. Any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to email me at pastor@wfcchurch.org or admin@officialstreetpreachers.com. With that said, I love you guys. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate you all. And please go back, watch the video, go back and look at the community section of the YouTube channels for all the email addresses of the school board and email them all and let them know this disgusting, filthy, reprobate principal needs to be fired. He should have absolutely no access to children. God bless you guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow night on my channel, Warriors for Christ. God bless.
Decided is to be decided against the Lord who wants your heart. He heals the sick and the brokenhearted, a life forever in His love.